We're growing deeper. And for the month of August, we are exploring the theme of On the Wings of Love. Doesn't that sound beautiful? The title of our talk today is Love's Ascent, and it will be given by our wonderful Reverend Charlene. We're so glad that you took some time to join us today. You made it. Take a deep breath and relax and sit back and enjoy our opening video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly. And so it is. And so it is. So before I go into the meditation today, I want to remind you that if you have any prayer concerns or celebrations, please feel free to add them in the chat. And after our message, Reverend Charlene will lead us through prayer. It is a form of affirmative prayer that we call spiritual mind treatment, and she'll be sure to include your prayer concerns and your celebrations at that time. Also, I want to tell a little background before I take us into our meditation today. So last week, we talked about that there are 4 immeasurable minds, and Charlene took us through some of the information that is in the book, Teachings of Love. And I listened to the audiobook when I took a little road trip this week, and I got so much out of it. And I'm kind of tying my meditation in with something that we touched on last week, the 4 immeasurable minds. The first one was loving kindness. So in our meditation, we're going to practice some self-love. And then the second mind was compassion. And I'm going to bring that in too, because we're talking about love's ascent. So how do you raise love up? You share compassion for others. So with all that being said, let's launch into our meditation. As always, settle into your chair, shrug your shoulders a little, release any cares, concerns, tension that you might have been carrying from this week. This is our time to hit that pause button. Take a deep breath in and hold and release. All right, continue to breathe deeply as I take you into our meditation. So this in my little notebook is the I am meditation. But like I said, I'm going to alter it just a little bit. So the first thing that I want you to do, thinking about self-love, is repeat this phrase. I am abundant. I am abundant. And just think about all the blessings, all the things in your life that bring you joy. It could be people, family, friends. It could be furry companions. It could just be having time to sit, have a cup of tea, take a walk, smell a flower. Think about all the abundance that is in your life. Now, here's our next stage. I want you to think, we're going to spread some compassion. Think of someone who needs that message. You know, it's all connected. They don't have to be in the room with you. We can send this out. Hold someone in your thoughts and prayers who needs to remember that there is abundance. They're not limited. They have so many blessings, so many good things are available to them. They just have to open their eyes, open their heart, open their ears, look around. And let's say send a wave of compassion, reminding someone that there is abundance in their life. All right, let's move on to the next one. Starting with our self-love. Repeat after me. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of love. Just as I am. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to look a certain way. I don't have to have a certain talent. I don't have to have a certain address or drive a certain car or have the right job. From the day I took my first breath, I am worthy of love. Just shower yourself with that thought. And now, step 2. Let's send that message to someone who needs it. Let's practice compassion. Think of someone, a group of people maybe even, that need that message. Somehow they've forgotten. You are worthy of love. Doesn't matter what you're doing, how you're feeling, all those other, it doesn't matter. Just as you are, you deserve to be loved. You are worthy of love. How'd that feel? All right, let's do one more. I am a powerful force of good in this world. Say it with me. I am a powerful force of good in this world. I make decisions. I am always moving toward my highest and best self. I can give someone a smile when they need it. I can lend a helping hand. I can give a compliment. I can pick up some trash when I see it. I am a powerful force of good in this world. I matter. I make a difference. All right, step 2. Think of someone who needs this reminder. You are a powerful force of good in this world. You are a powerful force of good in this world. You too, just as I can make good decisions, as I can brighten somebody's day, as I can lend a helping hand, so can you. And when you help others, oh, it feels so good. It's reciprocal, right? It's that law of circulation. You help somebody out, you help them, you feel good about yourself too. You are a powerful force of good. And I send that message out to you with love, with compassion, no judgment. Just reminding you, you matter. You make a difference. You will be remembered. You are seen. You are heard. All right, I could keep going on and on. This is the I Am meditation, and today we added a little twist, practicing compassion to others. All right, folks, join us, return, and enjoy the music.
Good morning, CSL Leesburg. Feel free to sing. Who knows what tomorrow brings? In a world a true heart survives. All I know is the way I feel. When it's real, I want to keep it alive. The road is long, and there are mountains in our way, but we climb a step every day. Love lifts us up where we belong, up where the eagles cry, up on a mountain high. Love lifts us up where we belong, far from the world we know, up where the clear winds blow. Some hang on to yesterday and live their lives looking behind, when all we have is here and now. All of our lives we are here to find. The road is long, it may feel like there are mountains in our way, but we get to climb a step every day. Love lifts us up where we belong, up where the eagles cry, on a mountain high. Love lifts us up where we belong, far from the world we know, up where the clear winds blow.
Whew. So good. So good. Well, good morning and happy second Sunday in August, where we keep talking about love. And this time, it's definitely lifting us up where we belong. So thank you, Leah. And Tamara, you're always right on point with those meditations, because it's true. This week we're still talking loving kindness, but this time, or I should say, and this time, I'm going to talk to you about how ridiculously tough it is to just accept that we are loved, that we are full of love, that we can give love, that we are worthy of love. And because if we can't step into believing it, then all the rest of the stuff we talk about is wishful thinking. It's wishful thinking. I mean, we've all been to those, I don't know if it's a center, a whole center full of people who just say a lot of wishful things and nothing ever happens. Or is it just the cynical person that goes in and looks at it and says, no, you're crazy. This is not, what are you talking about? I mean, I can list all the wars and I can list all the famine and I can list all the injustices. So when you tell me it's all good, I say nay, sir. And of course, that's how we feel when we're waiting for the external world to define how love should feel, how happiness should look. When we start with the idea of perfection and then look up and look around, you're guaranteed nothing's going to look like the idea of perfection. Now, which one of these things is wrong? I mean, we see there's a delta. I can tell you right now that there's a difference between the ideal situation and what's happening right now. So which one of these things is the problem? I want to know what you think. Which one do you think? Because part of me says, well, gosh, I feel like situations are just the way they are. They're not good nor bad. They just are. And then here we come with a whole backstory and we deem things good or bad, like a fairy godmother with a little wand going, bling, you're good, bling, you're bad. And then another part of me says, but then how would you ever have some high ideal to strive toward if you couldn't tell the difference between good and bad and right or wrong? And I'm just trying to say it's all exactly where it should be, because it's up to us to bring our awareness in. We're supposed to bring our awareness in and notice when we are separating ourselves from a situation and then judging it and deeming it to be good or bad. That's where the awareness needs to step in. And then the cool part is that what we do about it is up to us. We get to choose. And it's kind of cool when you choose something on purpose versus have it chosen for you because you refuse to choose. It's like Tamara and I always joke about, you would never go into a restaurant and look at a menu and then close it and then say, I'll be fine with whatever happens. Whatever you bring me, I'll be fine. Like, we don't do that. We talk about life as one of those interactive, sort of choose your own adventure kind of journeys where you are participating fully in your experience. Although many of us don't know that because we're not awakened to the fact that we're choosing, nonetheless, we are choosing. Even when we refuse to pick, we're still choosing not to pick. Like, we are at choice. And then when things happen as a result of our choices or as a result of our lack of choosing, or even because we just happen to show up at the wrong spot, when things happen, we are at another choice point. How are we going to respond? How are we going to respond? Because in those moments, that's where the divine gets in. That's where the light shines in to our experience. It's not a situation where we watch the world go by and we get to choose whether it's good or bad. All that is just from spectator vision. But what I'm talking about is participatory activity. We participate in the life we want to lead. And yes, sometimes it means cultivating that inner sense of being loved and then letting that pour out into the world. Notice I said cultivate the sense of being loved and then letting that sense of love pour out of us and into the world. So that's what Tamara was doing. She was doing the may I be and may I know the love, and then may you know the love. It all comes from us. But that's the tricky part. What if you were never shown that? And so for me, as I told you, my life tends to unfold in quite comical, yet curious, yet fascinating ways. And I recently stumbled across a video with one of my favorite actresses on it, and she's also happens to have a doctorate degree in neuroscience, but that's just Mayim Bialik. That's how she rolls. And if you've ever seen her play Amy on The Big Bang Theory, you know who I'm talking about. So she's got this podcast that she runs. It's a video. I watch her on video on YouTube, and I'm looking at YouTube and I'm trying to come up with some AI talk that I'm going to do for my other line of work. And I'm looking, and she's Mayim, and her co-host, names. Sue me. It'll show up in a second. I'll show you the clips. There are 2 clips I made of this long podcast. And the thing I'm talking about that happens comically yet magically and amazingly in my life is that once I'm told something, it's as if the universe says, tell her again. Say it louder for the people in the back. And I hear it again and again and again, like 3 times usually. And for me, it's the love aspect that we started last week. And then I stumble across this video. And then I go to Dream Study. If these things, it's like y'all got together and said, ooh, let's get Charlene to notice some stuff. Well, it worked. I get it. So I'll walk you through the little garden that happens to be my mind, and I think you'll enjoy it because, come on, we're all connected. So there I was listening to the podcast, and this woman gets on, and I'll give you a little backstory, and I'll show you the 2 clips that I saved. But for her, it's also 3 signals from the universe she looks for too. But this lady and me, we're nothing alike, yet we're exactly alike. She happened to have had a horrible childhood. Not like me, I didn't have a horrible childhood. She was addicted. Like me, I was addicted. I had an eating disorder. But she was addicted at a whole other level, like heroin, and she would prostitute herself. Okay, not like me. But I get it, though. I mean, you do tomato, right? Listen, this woman, she juiced herself up so much with drugs that she finds herself on her bathroom floor and she has a near-death experience. And then she meets her father on the other side, and he says to her, you are worthy of all the love in the universe. And she's just like, oh, nah. Now, that was the first time. So the second and the third times that she heard this, I'm going to let her tell you herself because I do not give it enough heft. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let me go into the share mode again. And yeah, tell me what you think.
Volume.
The problem is the short part that I captured. Darn it. I captured a short. I'll show you in another screen if you just give me one moment to wrestle. I just have to sort of wrestle with my little system. It's really important. So I grabbed 2 shorts, but that was about to show you the whole video, and I don't want you to sit through 2 hours because everybody, we got 20 minutes is what we got. So I'll take you to my clip directly. Where
My eyes were dead.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to share this one with you. And alrighty, now let's try one more time.
My eyes were dead, and everything was just so dead on me. And so I walk into this. It was a women's meeting, and I walked into this room, and this woman grabbed me as soon as I walked through the door, and she hugged me so tight. And she whispered in my ear, and she said, You are worthy of all the love in the
Stop
universe.
it.
You are worthy of all the love in the universe. And I melted.
Okay, so that's the third time she heard it. And then, let me take you to it. Because I feel like again, I also am the one who's doing this with myself. Like, we are part of this higher realm, and we're all just sort of walking ourselves along. There's a higher you, and then there's you. So let me take you to the number 2.
Easily healed.
Right after she was spontaneously healed on the floor in her bathroom. Now I'll show you that one. And then you'll
Spontaneously healed out of day 3 of heroin withdrawal. Moments before, I was sick all over myself, welcoming death. And then here I was, completely well and healed and fine. And I was crying out. I threw myself on the ground. I'm crying out, how could this be happening to me? I don't believe in this.
You could tell you were healed.
Absolutely. It was instantaneous. I was just in agonizing pain. And then all of a sudden, I was completely fine. And I threw myself on the ground and I was crying out, like, I'm not worthy of this. Like, you could not have picked a more unworthy person to bestow this kind of grace on. And for the contrast, I was a militant atheist, an orphan to suicide, a liar, manipulator, thief, prostitute, drug addict, terrible human being. And I was completely covered in grace and healing. And as I was affirming, I'm not worthy of this, I'm not worthy of this, I heard them chanting, but you're worthy of all the love in the universe.
That's what your dad said.
You're worthy of all the love in the universe. Healed out of day 3 of heroin withdrawal.
So, you're worthy of all the love in the universe, repeated over and over and over again. It's that first time she heard that, when she was on the bathroom floor, and then, so, first time she heard it, well, she was on the bathroom floor, and then she kind of had the near-death experience, saw her body, and then she moved into the other realm, and her father said that to her. And in between, the part between the first time she heard, you are worthy of all the love in the universe, she was taken on a little journey by the other side, whatever that is. And you can read all kinds of stories. It's not my role here to teach you about near-death experiences, but when you're curious and you go deep into the rabbit hole, you'll find it fascinating. What's important, though, is that she learned that she was part of a bigger plan, that she had chosen her experience here, and that, yes, my childhood was kind of terrible, but you kind of opted into that so that you'd have that kind of contrast that you can then begin to heal in the rest of your life. And so she was fighting with them. If you listen to this video, go and watch it. She says, I don't want to go back. I don't want to. You lied. I was so excited to come to Earth, and it was horrible. Don't make me go back into that body. And they told her, well, you could go into this other little baby that's nearby, but, and she's like, dag nabbit, that's even worse. So this is the point where you just watched, where they kind of took her face, even though there were no faces, it's just orbs of light or whatever, and they were like, you are worthy of all the love in the universe. And that's why Mayim said, that's what your dad said. And so these angels at this point were trying to convince her to go back down into that broken body. And she was like, nah, I'm good. Don't want to do it. And they told her, oh, you'll be better. You're actually going to change things. So she goes back into her body, and then she's in her body, and she does not immediately embrace her newfound understanding. And you'll hear her tell the story that at first she just says, oh, I was super high, so I'm not going to get that high again. And she tries to go out and keep doing prostitution and being high. But the universe kept getting in her way. She said that her 10 drug dealers all quit. They just quit. They found Jesus. They wouldn't sell her drugs anymore, but she'd find them anyway. She goes, because I'm a drug addict. That's what we do. And then she went and found some drugs, and then, oh, they got wet, or they were bad, or something would always get in the way of a really good high. And so she's like, dag nabbit, fine. And she started to go into withdrawal. So on the third day of withdrawal, the angels on the other side or whatever, I don't understand it either. They told her to ask for healing, and so she asked for healing, and then they healed her. Like literally took little mowing lawn mowers and healed out her pain receptors and blah 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 story. You can listen to it. And I guess what I love about this, that it is in that third clip where she finally realizes, okay, so the healing happened. I'm no longer in withdrawal. And she goes, just like a typical druggie, I then thought, well, then I'm amazing. Well, then I'm here to save the world. And she started going on subways, and now she's that girl telling everybody that God is here to save them. And she found herself finally at a meeting where she could get some support, a 12-step program to support her through her journey. And that's that third clip that I started, where she said she walked in, and she walks in, mind you, the first 2 times she heard, you are worthy of all the love in the universe. Of course she didn't believe it, and of course that's kind of in a dream state. Nobody ever told me this in real life. And that's why that third clip. So if you will indulge me, now now it will make sense that the third clip,
and my eyes were dead.
With that concept, she takes us to the first time. Now, mind you, she's walking around no longer taking drugs, but also looking a hot mess. She said her teeth were gone and she had to have them replaced. She had holes in her face. She looked a hot mess. And she walks in to a meeting. And this is what happens when she walks into the meeting. I think I've got this together. I can share it now.
Eyes were dead, and everything was just so dead on me. And so I walk into this, it was a women's meeting, and I walked into this room, and this woman grabbed me as soon as I walked through the door, and she hugged me so tight. And she whispered in my ear, and she said, you are worthy of all the love in the universe. You are worthy of all the love in the universe. And I melted, and I had this deep guttural cry. This was my deepest moment of surrender. And I rested my head on her big boobies for as long as she would let me. And I just really seriously cried, because the whole thing it felt like psychosis. It felt like delusions of grandeur. I kept hearing this message, I'm worthy of all the love in the universe. Me, like I'm a POS, like I'm not worthy of anything. But all those voices were invisible. And now I'm with an actual tangible person that is holding me and whispering in my ear and saying the exact same words. And my eyes were dead, and everything was just so dead on me. And so I walked.
So that's that. So listen, this is what I think happens to us. And I know that this happens for me. And then when hearing her talk about it happening to her, there's something about you too. There's something about you that you heard a whisper of it and you didn't really believe it. You're like, yeah, whatever. Was it that you walked into a center or something and they were like, oh, it's all love, it's all God, and you're like, but there's so much angst in the world, and you logic yourself out of it because it's an idea that sounds attractive, but what is it about it that sometimes we're just so jaded? We're like, no. We're batting it away as if they're attack drones, right? What if the universe then tries another time and says, but you're worthy, in her case, of all the love in the universe. And then she's like, that sounds familiar. And now a human being with skin on it says it to me. And I love how that's the moment where she crumpled and she allowed someone to love her. And later on, because I could only make 1-minute clips each, later on she says, well, maybe, so I don't know if I'm worthy of all the love in the universe, but maybe I'm not a POS. Maybe. Like, she gave herself a little bit of grace. And I feel like for us, every one of us who are wherever we are in our journey, where we have an idea about who we are, who we could be, we have an idea, but then we're so mired in the negativity in all the disappointment. How many times have we hoped that things would go a certain way? Hello, November. And then it goes another way. And now we're like, oh my God. Right? Well, how we're so disappointed that sometimes we're jaded, and then we keep ourselves in that because we'd rather stay jaded than be hopeful and then smack down yet again. And so this is the part where when we hear those words, may I have love, may I be free from attachment, may I and may you, those are just words. They're words until you believe that you are worthy. I know you believe I'm worthy. I get it. I believe everybody else is worthy, but then it's like, oh yeah, but me though, yikes. I mean, I've seen me and it could be quite a mess. Even me. So if we could start here and love ourselves here, that experience of love, regardless of the situation, regardless of the circumstances, because the circumstances are just going to be what they are. And if we bring love to it, ooh, what could that do? Instead of walking in and, I don't see any love here. Exactly. So maybe we should bring some. This is the idea that I am hoping that the more I talk about it, the more I'm going to do it, right? That's what we do. We teach what we most need to learn. And I really am convicted about this. I really know that I've seen lots of people on their journey, including me. There's an idea that happiness is something that you should be able to think yourself into. No. Happiness is not, love is not something you should be able to think yourself into. That thinking mind, it has more negative stuff about you than positive. I hate to bring you the truth, but it's facts. You will remember the negative thing people said about you and forget all the positive things that people keep saying about you. It's called the negativity bias. The brain was put together to protect the human, and it looks out for things that might scare us, and it just negates whatever's good. So there's something else in us that can align us with the good and the highest, and that's our heart. And so if we could get our heart involved a little more, give it a little more of the load, and take a little more of the load off of the brain or the head, then maybe a head-heart combination. This is not new stuff. We hear this all the time. The head and the heart, when aligned, will move mountains. You will manifest so fast what you really want. If your heart is like, yes, I love, woo, making me bigger. And the head's like, oh yeah, let's go. When they're in alignment and pointed in a particular direction, everything just moves. They're like, all right, let her in, let her through. No one's stopping you. You have the divine at your fingertips. It's that conflict, though, that conflict that is mostly inside, where we can't even find compassion for ourselves. That's where we get to soften, allow, accept, and love that person that thinks that they do not deserve any love. This POS, I don't deserve any love. Yes, even you deserve all of the love of the universe. Let's just take that in and let's go into prayer. Now let me check and see if there's any requests for prayer. Just knowing that there is a divine energy pulsating and giving of itself through all things, that there's one life, one God, if that's what you would like to call it, or just call it spirit or source or divine potentiality. Whatever it is the backing of all things that exist. It is the underneath of all of life. And through this substrate, we are connected. We are connected to one another in ways we don't even understand. When we think of one another, that person appears. And we are so entwined. Some call it entangled in a quantum way, that we are one with this divine love. Therefore, no matter where we are, no matter who we think we've been in the past, even now, right where we are, there is divine love happening. It is right here, right now. You don't have to move. You don't have to perform. You don't have to live up to or measure up to or qualify, or you don't have to do anything. Just breathing in and saying, I am. and add anything after that that you want to have in your life, knowing that you already are that, well, look at the barriers just crumble. I am love. I am abundance. I am peace. Notice how everything that does not line up with that high vibration, well, it scatters. Like the darkness does when the light switch is turned on. There's a nothingness from whence it came, and a nothingness to which it will return. Because when we get aligned with our highest truth, I know for you, I know for me, I know for each and every person that's listening to this, I know that we are divine emanations of the One. And that changes everything. So I speak my word into the law, knowing that it is already unfolding as spoken into the lives of each and every one of us. It will ripple out. It is rippling out even now to affect even those in the far-flung reaches of this planet. We get to change the world by changing ourselves and aligning ourselves with our highest and our truth. And so I release this word knowing that it's already unfolding. I simply say, thank you, life. Thank you, God. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. I release my word. I let it go. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. And now let's hear from Leah. One second.
I just
Okay, now I shall share.
If you are anything like me, when you hear this song, come around to the chorus, you have to sing along. I've taken a little bit of liberty with the lyrics, but just sing because it feels so good. Just smile one time and let the day begin. You hold the sunshine that lights the world within. And I am sure there are angels in the skies. Open your heart, pretty soon you'll learn to ride on the wings of love, up and above the cloud, the only way to fly is on the wings of love, on the wings of love, every one of us together flying high upon the wings of love. I take a breath and I begin to melt, just like the snow when a ray of sun is felt. I'm here to live life, people, can't you see? I'd be so delighted if you would come with me on the wings of love, up and above the clouds, the only way to fly is on the wings of love, on the wings of love, every one of us together flying high, flying high upon the wings of
fantastic. Thank you so much, Leah, for the wonderful music. Oh, thank you, Reverend Charlene, for the fantastic message that you shared today. All right, folks, now is the time that we acknowledge the donations that you send in to CSL Leesburg. We do what we do on Sundays because you help us make it happen. We also tithe. You heard in our opening video, the law of circulation. And we know that as we give, we receive. So we make sure that we tithe to our home office, as well as organizations that share our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. There are so many ways that you can give. Look at the screen. Odds are, if you're a regular here at CSL Leesburg, you've already found a way that works for you. And we thank you so much for your generous donations. All right, folks, let's do our blessing of the gifts. And remember, folks, this isn't just about donations. This is a reminder about who you are. Join me. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And I'm going to look down at my notes. I am worthy of all the love in the universe. We'll tack that on today too. All right, folks, now it's time for announcements. So what's happening? What's coming up? So September class, we're going to have a foundational course offered. Again, this is always a very popular class. It's called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. No truer words we're speaking. We know it all begins here. Once you change your thoughts, miracles happen. All kinds of things are possible. And like Reverend Charlene was talking about, it's just getting that mind. That's our brain that's always trying to protect us and keep us safe. And yeah, but what if? And don't try this and don't go there. And what would ifs think? Once you change this, once you change your thinking, all kinds of things happen. So stay tuned for some more information about that. We also have another class for those of you who have taken the foundation class or a foundation class. We have the next step. So we'll be exploring the mystical path. And this is deepening the journey for our spiritual explorers. And we'll be exploring other people who were mystics and what did they say and what resonates with us? What do we want to bring into our lives? We'll be having New Members Sunday, where we welcome in new members to CSL Leesburg. We will be also in September. This is like big. I almost feel like I want a drum roll. Feel free to supply that at home if you want to. But we are going to have our 10th anniversary. So we are putting together a celebration on that. And today after our service, we're going to have our Leadership Council meeting. This is something that we do on a regular basis. And we're always looking for more folks. So if you've had a foundational class, if you're interested in being part of making things happen at CSL Leesburg, let us know. Perhaps you'd like to join our Leadership Council, our executive board. So all these things, I love that Reverend Charlene put this slide together because there's a lot happening. Also, I told you about this before, and if you haven't marked your calendar, you need to mark your calendar. So the alchemy of forgiveness. This is going to be a special workshop that's going to be available after our service next Sunday, August 17th. And if you're a regular at CSL Leesburg, you know Melinda Jacobs. She is absolutely incredible. And she's a frequent guest speaker here at CSL Leesburg. We love when Reverend Melinda joins us. And she led a workshop not too long ago. And guess what? At the end, we said, we want more. You mentioned something about forgiveness. Could you come back and do a workshop on forgiveness? And she, of course, said yes. So she will be having this workshop, like I said, next Sunday, August 17th. It's 10 o'clock. If you're on the Pacific coast, and it's 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It'll be approximately 2 hours. There's a registration fee. There's a QR code you can see. You can always go to our website and look for classes. And this will be a wonderful opportunity to transmute old wounds. This is a specialty of hers. And set yourself free by acting and practicing forgiveness. What in you needs a little dose of healing? What do you need to let go? What suffering do you need to end? Who do you need to forgive? What do you need to forgive? That's what we're going to explore in that workshop next week. I'll be there. I hope you join us. All right. What else do we have? Let's see. Boop, boop,
I'm trying to find that thing I did. You know the
I
thing?
gotcha. I gotcha. I know it's
One moment. Go ahead, tap dance real quick. I gotta
tap
find
dance,
it.
tap dance, tap dance. Gee, I just talked about the workshop. Oh,
Yeah.
let me tell you this. I always got something. So we do pearls. Pearls are after service, and you talk, you stay on if you can, and you share with us anything that really resonated with you, with the message, the meditation, the music. I'm going to talk about how Leah does the most amazing job picking the perfect song for the title of our talk. She's always so good with that. We love when she joins us. And I take notes. I take notes all throughout Reverend Charlene's message. I even put a special star by something because, oh my gosh, things that were said that really resonated with me. And Charlene was talking about when the universe brings you the message, you know, that lady who was talking about getting that message. I am worthy of love, all the love of the universe. Charlene, you're the second person today to tell me that darkness leaves when you turn the light switch on. I heard that from a meditation that I was listening to this morning. And then you come and say the same thing.
Nice.
I can't wait to hear. Where's the third? Where's the
If
third?
you hear it, yeah, third time means.
Where's the third source going to be? I'll let you know. I'll text you, Charlene. And then I have to say, okay, if this is a message I keep getting, why do I need to remember this? And you can see up on the screen, we are acknowledging some birthdays. Suze has a very special birthday. We are joining her. She is she turned 70. Her son on Friday. And she's having a party, I think, since Dusty today. And we just wanted to acknowledge that very special milestone. Here's what I always say, Suze, when I'm hitting an age, a number, I go, well, there are people that didn't make it, you know, to this number. So let me be glad and let me just celebrate. You made it to 70. That is fantastic. And we also know Renee has a birthday coming up this Tuesday in 2 days. We send birthday greetings to Renee as well. All right, folks. So you heard me talk about pearls. If you can stay, please stay, hang out with us a little bit. We have our leadership council meeting today, but we're not going to shortchange you. We'd love to hear your pearls. What would you like to talk about? What really struck you? What hit you from the message, the music, the meditation? You heard me share something. I'd love to hear from you. If you can't join us, we send you off with our love and our blessings. But first, you know what's coming up? We got to do our closing affirmation. I'm waiting for a slide, but if it doesn't come immediately, you know what to do.
You can't
right?
see it? Is
No.
it not there?
Nope, blank screen. But it's all good because we
Oh,
know
wait.
this.
You don't see it. You don't see it. Okay.
Now it's there.
There it is. See? Charlene hitting all those buttons behind the curtain. Here we go. So the first one is I am love. And doesn't this really match what we've been talking about this month? So put your hands over your heart and join me in saying, I am love.
I love.
Thank you for those who unmuted themselves. You know I need to hear this. Here's the next one. You heard me talk about compassion when I did our meditation. I want you to think of someone that needs this message, the message that you are worthy of all the love in the universe. And we know that it might be somebody in the room with you, a friend, a relative, a furry companion, or it can be somebody who isn't right in the immediate vicinity, because it's all connected. We can send this out to them. Let's do it. You ready? A tsunamis of you are love. Here we go. You are love.
Our love.
Woo! All right, the next one is our love sprinkles, reminding ourselves that's all love. It's all love. The Bible tells us God is love. It all starts with love. Here we go. You ready? You are love.
It's all love. It's all love. All love.
Repeating that. It's all love. All right. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day. We really appreciate. We love seeing the list of participants that go across their screen. We know some people join us on Facebook. Some people join us and watch later in the week, however they come to us. But we're so glad that you took some time to join us today.
But stick around for Susan's party.
Stay if you can, or if you have to leave, you may. And we'll see you next week. All right, let's have a party, Charlene.
Okay, let's do it.